discover that my yoga instructor was actually my husband's side chick. I'd been going to this small yoga studio for months, and Becca was my favorite instructor. She was super chill, always remembered my name, and gave the best adjustments. My husband Kevin would always ask how class went, which I thought was sweet since he usually didn't care about my hobbies. One day, Becca started asking weird questions during our cool down, like how long had I been married, did my husband work late often, stuff like that. I thought she was just being friendly. Then she started making these comments about how some married men need more excitement in their lives. I brushed it off as her being philosophical, but then last Tuesday, I forgot my water bottle and went back to grab it. The studio was supposed to be empty, but I heard voices in the back room. I recognized Becca's laugh immediately. Then I heard a man's voice say, "My wife thinks I'm at the gym right now." My blood went cold. That was Kevin's voice. I crept closer and peeked through the crack in the door. There was my husband of 8 years, shirtless, making out with my yoga instructor on the massage table. Becca was wearing the same sports bra she'd worn during my morning class. I stood there for what felt like forever, watching them. Kevin was telling her how boring I was, how I never wanted to try anything new. Meanwhile, this woman had been pretending to be my friend for months, asking about my marriage, probably getting off on the whole thing. I backed out quietly and sat in my car, shaking. Then I got an idea. I pulled out my phone and started recording a voice memo. I went back inside, making sure my footsteps were loud this time. "Becca, I forgot my bottle," I called out. They scrambled like teenagers. Kevin must have hidden in the bathroom because I only saw Becca, all flustered and sweaty. She handed me my water bottle with this guilty smile and said, "See you Thursday?" I smiled back and said, "Absolutely." That evening, Kevin came home with takeout, acting completely normal. He kissed my forehead and asked about my day. I told him yoga was great, that Becca was such a good instructor. He nodded and said he might try a class sometime. I almost laughed. Thursday came and I showed up early to class. I told Becca I had a surprise for everyone. During the opening meditation, I played the voice memo I'd recorded. Kevin's voice filled the room. "My wife thinks I'm at the gym right now." The whole class went silent. Becca's face went white. I stood up and announced that my husband had been cheating with our instructor in this very room. 3 other women immediately stood up too. Turns out Kevin wasn't Becca's only married student. One woman started crying because she'd suspected her husband was cheating but didn't know with who. Another woman pulled out her phone and called her husband right there. The third woman just started laughing and said she was getting divorced anyway. Becca tried to defend herself, saying she didn't know Kevin was married to someone in her class, but I pulled out my phone and showed everyone the texts Kevin had sent her, including one that said, "Hope my wife doesn't find out you're hotter than her." I'd gotten his phone while he was in the shower. The studio owner showed up because someone had called her. She fired Becca on the spot and offered everyone free classes for a month. Half the class left to go confront their husbands. The other half stayed, and we did the most aggressive vinyasa flow of my life. Kevin was waiting at home with flowers when I got back. He had this confused look on his face, probably wondering why 3 different women had called him a cheating piece of garbage that afternoon. I told him I wanted a divorce and that his stuff would be on the lawn by morning. Becca tried to get Kevin to leave me for her after everything came out, but he was too embarrassed and cut her off completely. So she lost her job, her side piece, and her reputation all in one day. Meanwhile, I found a new yoga studio where the instructor actually cares about my spiritual growth instead of sleeping with my husband.